YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today, guys, we'll be talking about Ghoti. Now, this particular fish deck we have here is really fun to go up against tier elements, and by far, this is one of the, not the best typically, but one of the fun decks that I've actually played on for a water deck. Now, even so, we are using a ton of supports for the Ghoti, and not much of Ghoti cards added into this lineup or in this deck, basically. But even so, having with this type of ratios with most of the cards, you still get a ton of wins, even against a tier elements deck. It is really formidable. So pros and cons with this deck is, the pros are, you don't be needing the graveyard that much because the Banish Stone is where you strive in particular. Downside is, you won't be having like a good end board basically because you tend to spell summon a lot from the Banish Stone, and you'll take more time using the Banish Stone rather than the graveyard. This is typically like a snowballing deck wherein you need more materials on the Banish Zone and on your hand just to bring out more or to dish out more like game-ending plays. For the deck, basically, we have also some counters for tier elements since that is really common even in lower ranks or even with a current rank. So we have 2 copies of DD Crows, 3 copies of your board breakers, and it evens out the field for evenly matched. 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, 2 copies of Dimension Shifter. Whether or not you're using or you are up against tier elements, this is one of the strongest cards there is. And it is also better for this type of deck. Now, we only got 2 copies of the field spell for the Ghotis, but even so, having 2 copies of this and just bringing out a copy of Terraforming for that matter is just okay. I don't want to exceed 3 copies. 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent because basically your opponent is gonna activate a monster effect during whichever turns. So that's that. Monster wise, we have Sopai as one of your go-to support for the Ghotis. It summons a level 6 with alongside the Sopai monster. Your go-to play for this is going or summoning the Serpent of the Ghoti to your side of the field and bring out more plays during your turn or your opponent. Ghotis, on the other hand, we have 3 copies of the Shade of the Ghoti and 3 copies of Light. Once come to the field, you can tribute this one or banish this one for a spell summon of a fish monster, which typically most of your cards here are fish. The Shade is really a really good card. Banishes 1 Ghoti or 1 fish on your hand and on the graveyard and special summon it to the field. So you'll immediately have like a fodder on the field that is a level 6. Now, at first glance, if you're dealing with a Ghoti deck, it is really underwhelming seeing just 1 or unnecessary cards in the field. But once they actually pile up or once they actually get traction for most of their combos, it is really hard to go up against a Ghoti deck. But anyways, yeah, that is the main deck, guys. Extra deck wise, I will go with 3 copies of the Serpent of the Ghoti. Brings out more of your materials from the deck and just banish them. 1 copy of White Aura Whale. This is kind of like a Lightning Storm effect. 1 copy of Dragite, Spell and Trap Negate. 2 copies of Ascan. Basically, this is a really good card to banish Kit Callus on the field if ever your opponent summons Kit Callus. Also, if ever this card is banished, by the way, you can just banish 1 fish monster in your graveyard and then special summon this to your side of the field. So it's a really good card to actually add into your deck. Level 10 Synchros will have 1 copy of Baron the Floor, 1 Shang Ying, since you'll be banishing more cards basically. So having a copy of Shang Ying on the field will add more, will dish out more damage to your opponent. And then we have 2 copies of Ghoti of the Deep Beyond. Just 2 copies of this in your deck is basically enough. If you're going beyond 2 copies, I think that's unnecessary. Even with just 2, it's really formidable just to have 2 on your board and dishing out more damage basically. Now the only downside for this type of monster is Imperm or Effect Veiler. Once it gets negated for its effects, it goes down to 0 for its attack. XZ wise, you go with 1 copy of Abyss Dweller and 1 copy of Stealth Kraken. Now, I do believe that you can go with another Synchro monster or a Link monster for that matter, but yeah, level 4s comes out from time to time. So having like a scenario wherein you can summon your 2 level 4s on the field, easy enough for an XZ summon. Then you'll have your Coral Anemone for the Marensis, really good Link support. And lastly, Abyss Keeper is one of those cards that you can use for this deck. since you're dealing with water monsters. So that's basically your deck profile, guys. Let's move towards the replays. Now, guys, with regards to the replays, I won't be narrating that much, or basically I won't be narrating at all, because this deck is really straightforward. And of course, you're going up against a ton of tier elements plays, which of course you already know, and it is really boring to actually have me narrate those kind of events for this type of deck. Now, anyways, that is the Ghoti deck profile, guys. We'll see another variant for the Ghoti later on. That's me signing off. Keep safe, good luck, and here are the replays. And oh yeah, like and subscribe for more contents. See you later, guys, for the next video. Bye-bye.